Hey friends, story time. I'm going to tell a story about how God is in our life. I mean, you could look back and see different places where God showed up. And I'm going to share one of those stories tonight. I feel that God showed up. I probably shared this with you before, but I'll share it again. Many years ago, before I was a mom and I was married and still a newlywed, I was living in this apartment with my husband. And we had one car, and he had to go to the grocery store. And I had made a list of stuff for him to pick up at the grocery store. And I was handing it to him, and he was backing up out of our alleyway. There was the driveway of the apartments. And there was a little boy, probably 2 or 3 years old, on a big wheel. You know those little big wheels? They're called big wheel, but they're really low to the ground. And there was hedge bushes next to the road. Anyways, I was watching him go down the sidewalk, wasn't thinking anything about it. Thought he's kind of young and no parents were around or nobody was there. But I was handing the list to my husband, and the little dude was going down the sidewalk. And we were talking for a couple minutes, and he was starting to back out, and I was turning around to open the door to go back in. And all of a sudden I realized I forgot bread was not on the list. So I turned around to say bread, and when I turned around, that little boy had went off the sidewalk and behind my husband's tire of the car. And I remember screaming, "Stop, don't move, stop." And he's like, "What's wrong?" I said, "Just stop." So I went and I got the little boy. He was right behind the car. He would have been crushed if I did not turn. The timing was perfect. If I did not turn around and see that little boy go off the sidewalk and behind that tire, if I would have just walked through the door and never turned around, that little boy wouldn't be here. He would have been dead. And that, to me, is a God thing. God showed up right at the right time, put bread in my mind for my husband to get. And then, of course, when he realized what had happened, he got out of the car and he yelled at the little boy, but the little boy wasn't his fault. He's just probably 2 or 3 years old. And his parents were nowhere to be found. He yelled at the kid. It's because he was so nervous that he almost killed him. But anyways, that's just a story I needed to share with you, because God does show up. And God, if you look back at your own life, you'll see stories that you can tell about where God showed up. Anyways, I just wanted to share that with you tonight. And I was going to share some scripture with you, but I kept fumbling over my words because ever since the COVID shot, since I've had the vaccine, I stumble over my words, and I'm going to go see a neurologist next month. So keep me in your prayers and pray that they find out what's wrong, because I've been to one before a couple of years ago and they can't find anything wrong, but there's something definitely wrong. When your body's not functioning right, and I can hardly write my name anymore. But if you have prayers, please leave me a prayer request down below, and I'll pray for you. God bless y'all, and I love y'all. Thank you for stopping by. Have a blessed week.